Hello gems, welcome to the Sapphire Star. Today I'm going to teach you how to get full body tracking on a VTuber if you're using any type of VR system, whether that's the Quest, the HTC VIVE, Oculus, or something else. If you have any type of full body tracking, you can actually get full body tracking on your VTuber using a program called virtual motion capture. So this is what it's going to look like for you at the end of the video. I'll also show how to get advanced facial tracking plus full body if you have that set up in your avatar. So enjoy, because this is going to be a long video, but I promise it is filled with tons of valuable information that is honestly even just a great listen. Let's do this. The first step is to download virtual motion capture. They do release new versions every once in a while, so make sure you check in with the page. You will have to pay, I believe it's around $3 USD per month to this creator. This is the developer of virtual motion capture named 𝐿. I'm not sure if that's how you correctly say it, but this is where I get virtual motion capture from. Now, if you're on the fence and you're like, bro, I don't want to spend $3
to some random person, blah, blah.
We should support this developer, and we should be willing to support this developer for creating such an awesome tool if you're going to be utilizing it a lot. It's very important to invest back into your business, and spending something as little as $3 a month, which is 10 cents a day, is really not, like, that is definitely a worth it investment. I use virtual motion capture for literally like almost every YouTube video and for lots of streams. It's definitely worth the payback. So if you're struggling to want to put that forward, keep that in mind. Anyways, so how we download virtual motion capture is you'll go to the creator's page. You'll have an unlocked post where it is going to be the most recent version. You can see the last time it was updated was September 30th, 2021. So we're going to download the zip. You'll just click on that, and then you'll click down here where my file is, and I'll click show in folder. And then after that, you can right click the zip and then click extract to virtual motion capture. So I'm just extracting the folder. So the next thing that I like to do is I am going to cut this, which means I'm just moving it, and I'm going to go to I have a folder that's actually called VR Unity SIA tools. So this is a place for me to keep track of all the tools I use, because when you're a VTuber, there could be a lot of different like extensions and add-on things that you're using. So this is an additional step. If you want, you could add an extra folder for organization. So I have virtual motion capture right here. I'm just going to paste, I believe this is the same one, so I don't need to paste it in here, but I would paste it in here. And here we go, virtual motion capture. So we can open this, and then now we're going to double click on the application virtual motion capture. I'm going to hop into VR, and I'll see you guys when I do that. All right, so we're going to go into this. I'm assuming that you already understand how to set up like your actual HTC VIVE or your Index or your whatever you're using, Oculus. I'm already assuming that you know how to set that up in Steam VR. So if you are looking for that part of the video, that's not going to be in here. But what I am going to talk about again is how you can set everything up. So specifically for doing full body VTuber tracking, I have,
of course, my left tracker is literally dying right now when I need it for this YouTube video.
I have my headset on my head that is being utilized as a tracker, but you don't want to have your headset over your face because you will not be able to see your chat. You will not be able to see your live stream. There's probably some solutions to this, but I just keep my headset on my head right now, and I'll talk about some other stuff later that you as well if you don't want to have 300 billion pounds sitting on your head. So we have our hip tracker, we have our 2 ankle trackers. If you have full body, great. If you don't have full body, you can just use your VR as well. You can do like upper body with your VTuber to still get some more immersive feeling. So even if I didn't have full trackers, like if I didn't have hip tracker or ankle trackers, you could still use the upper half of your body. You could just use controllers and headset to control the upper half. So like if you don't have leap motion to control your VTuber hands, this is an option for you as well, which again, I talk about in my video where I tell you 4 different ways you can get hand tracking. So that's also an option for you. So I'm going to be acting as if you have full body when we forward with this, and how to set that all up with virtual motion capture to do full body VTuber tracking. But again, if you have only half body, the same principles are going to apply. If you don't have an HTC VIVE and you have a different VR system, again, the same principles should apply here. I'm just using VIVE in this specific video. So now that you have all your full body stuff on, you can open virtual motion capture. I mentioned this earlier. You can double click on the application here, and then it should open. So this is what it looks like. You have 2 separate windows. This window is going to display your model once you import it, and then this window is like all the controls. It's the control panel. So the first thing you want to do to get your model in is you're going to click open VRM. To use virtual motion capture, you have to have a VRM file. So if you have a character that is an FBX, or it is something that is not a virtual reality model, which is what VRM stands for, you're going to have to convert it to a VRM to utilize this software. So we're going to click open VRM, and it's going to give you like all these crazy settings, but don't worry about anything except import VRM. We can just directly import the file. I'm using Syafire colliders. That's one of my latest versions of my VTuber, and then you just click agree and import, and then we should be good to go. She will show up here in a moment. There she is. Great. What we're going to do next, and I'm not going to go through every setting, I'm just going to try to get you guys set up like optimally. How does this work? So next we're going to go to to lip sync, and for this I'm only going to show you guys full body, and then later in the video I'll show you how to set it up with advanced tracking as well. So we're going to go to lip sync. You're going to choose whatever microphone is your main microphone. So I'm choosing analog 1+2. That's what this mic is right here, my Stellar X2. We're going to click update, and then after that you can
see my mouth tracking is
moving even though my body isn't, which is creepy. So next, and make sure you have lip sync checked as well. You can play with these settings too, depending on how you want your lip sync to work. This works pretty well, the default settings, but if you need to mess with it, definitely mess with it. So next we're going to go into settings right here, and then we're going to click on this settings tab, and it's going to open this new panel over here. So this is going to be really important because this is where you're going to set up all your tracking. So the first thing that we're going to do is click open tracker assignment settings. So we'll open this, and this is where you're going to assign your tracking. So again, if you have Oculus, if you have HTC VIVE, if you have Index, whatever you have, this is where you're going to set that up. So we have the head tracker. So what you do is you'll move your tracker, and it will show which tracker is moving when you move it. So you can see I'm moving my head back and forth. It will light up green to show you which one's moving. So this is my head tracker right here. So we selected that for head. Next is left hand. So I'm going to pick up this left index controller. I'm going to move this around and see which one is highlighting green. And this is the one right here. So that's our left hand. And the next we're going to go to drop down right hand. We're going to select right hand, and then we're going to move this around until that works, and then we got the right one. So if you only have upper body, this is where you stop. Then you would go to waist, and you would click no assign, left foot, no assign, right foot, no assign. If you're just using upper body, if you have like a Quest 2 or you have something else, that's how you'll set that up. But if you have full body, you can continue forward with me here. If you don't have full body, you can skip to the next step. So waist, I know that my waist tracker is really annoying to try and figure out if it's moving or not, because it's very hard to move your waist without also moving your ankles. So usually what I'll do is I will move the waist tracker before I actually wrap it around my waist. But I already know that my waist tracker is the AA, because all your trackers are labeled with codes. Mine's AA, I already know that, so I'm just going to select A. Left foot, I'm going to move my left foot up. 9C, that's my left foot. And then we'll do right foot. I'm going to move my right foot over here. So if all your trackers aren't loaded up in here, you can just close out of this. It'll save and you can reopen it. So I just closed out and reopened because my left tracker turned off, or my right tracker turned off. So now I'm gonna move this again, and that's my 5B. Okay, there we go. So we have it all set up. So the cool thing about virtual motion capture is you can actually, not all VR programs, like VR chat does not support more than 6 point of track. Like this is full tracking for VR chat for most games. Like Beat Saber, I don't even think has full body. It depends on the game you play. You have to look into the specs. But for virtual motion capture, you can have more than just these points of tracking. So if I had another tracker, I could actually wrap it around my left elbow or my right elbow and get even more accurate tracking. You can do the same with your left knee and your right knee. So that's what these ones over here are for. Something crazy that I tried, but I couldn't get it to work, unfortunately, was I was trying to use, this is ridiculous. I actually got like a scarf, and I was turning on my wands because I have like 4 wand trackers, and I was trying to like tie them to my knees to like have them be makeshift trackers. So you got to be creative like that when you're working on VR stuff, or when you're like working in programs like this. You got to like really think about how you can make something like work for you. So that's another thing that I tried. It didn't end up working. There might be a way to do it, but I didn't figure it out yet. Anyways, we got full body. You can close that. All that should be good. Our next step we're going to exit out of this for now, is we're going to calibrate our full body so that it connects up with our VTuber. Okay, so the next step is to calibrate. So we're just going to click this calibration button here. You're just going to select the first one. You can try these other ones. I've tried the other ones before. I don't really know the full difference, but the first one is what I would recommend. So this is, I'm going to have to step back in the room. I'm going to move my chair. I'm going to move my chair over. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to click calibration. You're going to grab your controllers, and you have 3 seconds to get into place, so you better hurry up. We're good. We're solid. My room tracking is off a little bit, so I don't know like why it shows my trackers not lined up, but it works, so it's fine. So now we're calibrated, so you can see I have this set up and ready to go calibration wise. So we're good now. So you can see my fingers moving. Again, that's an index thing. This is index controllers. If you have wands, you won't be able to move your fingers like that. If you have other controllers, I don't think you'll be able to move your fingers like that. It'll just be moving your arms. Yeah, it's going to depend on what you have. But now we have full body set up, so we have more going on. The only downside with this is the face tracking, but this is pretty much it then. And then you would set this up in OBS. Cool. So let me show you how to set this up in OBS if you have your half body or your full body ready to go and ready to put into OBS. The same concept should happen if you're using Streamlabs OBS as well. So what we do is we'll do a plus here. We'll do a game capture. And then after we get game capture, we're going to click OK. and we're going to do specific window, and you're going to choose the virtual motion capture exe, check allow transparency, and then you'll click OK. Next, you're going to want to go back into virtual motion capture. We will go to the background, select a green screen. The next thing you do to get your character showing up here without the green screen is you right click, you go to filters, and then you do a plus, and then you add a chroma key, and then you click OK. I already have mine on there, which is why mine's transparent. So then you should have it, and you'll be able to move your character around wherever you want. The reason she's in T-pose for me right now is because I had to re-record this and it was not getting back in full body, but yours should be working if you have your VR stuff set up. So next, if you have advanced facial tracking on your VTuber, I'm going to show you how to get that set up with your full body stuff. So this is going to be full body plus advanced face tracking. If you made a model in VRAD Studio, your model does not come with advanced facial tracking. It's something you're going to have to commission somebody, or it's something you're going to have to do yourself. You have to add extra blend shapes to your model in Blender. It's a whole series of events. It's a whole set of things. I currently do not have a video on it. I'd like to make one in the future, but I'm going to assume that you already commissioned somebody, you have full facial tracking, and you just want to get it set up here. So if you don't have VSeeFace downloaded already, make sure you download VSeeFace. It's the same process as virtual motion capture. Download it, export the folder, and then we'll open VSeeFace. So I'm going to go ahead and open VSeeFace here. Okay, perfect. So if you don't have your model set up already, you'll want to import your avatar, and by clicking this plus button, and you'll grab the same VRM that you uploaded to virtual motion capture. I have this one. It's already in here. This is the one right here. And then I'm going to click start, and now what I'm going to do is grab this is my holder that I use to hold my phone for advanced facial tracking. Here's my phone right here. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to open iFacial Mocap, which is the name of the app that tracks advanced facial tracking. Okay, so as you can see now, we have my face tracking stuff. Dude, my forehead is starting to tweak. So we got, wow, our full facial tracking, right? Okay, so pretty much that's full facial tracking stuff. We're gonna go to settings. We're gonna go to general settings, and then you're going to scroll down, and we want to make sure that we have send data with OSC VMC turned on. So I'm gonna explain this. This might get a little bit confusing, but I'm gonna do my best to explain how this works. VSeeFace is running underneath this port number right here, which is 39539. Yours might be different than mine. It might be the same. Your port number is your port number. This is where the port number that this is running on. I don't know exactly like the full details of how this works, but this is where it's running. So we want to send this data, the data that's occurring in VSeeFace, which is my face tracking. We want to send this data into virtual motion capture, which is another software. So that's what this means when we check this box. It means we're going to send the data from VSeeFace over to virtual motion capture. So what you do is you will copy this, Command C, and then we'll open virtual motion capture. So we're going to pull virtual motion capture, and what you're going to do is go back to the control panel that we talked about earlier. Here's the control panel, and we're going to go back into settings, and then you are going to go to receiver down here, because we want virtual motion capture to receive the information from VSeeFace. It's saying, okay, we're taking the face tracking data from VSeeFace and pulling it into virtual motion capture. So we need to put that same port number right here. And that's not the correct number right now. It's 39. So make sure those are lined up. Then we click apply. After we click apply, now you can see that my face tracking is working in virtual motion capture. Also, my foot tracker died.
My foot tracker died.
Dude, this is my favorite part about full body tracking. Okay, so now you can see I have full face tracking, and I have my hand tracking, and I have full body tracking. Now, for anybody who saw the beginning of this YouTube video, you would have noticed that I had a full 3D background behind me. Now that is a whole nother process where you send your information from virtual motion capture over to Unity, doing the same concept we just talked about, which is utilizing a port number. So we have in how you would do that, which I'm not currently doing it. I guess I could show you guys how that works actually. So if you want to set up full facial tracking and body tracking in Unity, you could check out Fofamit's channel. She has a whole tutorial on it. That's how I got that set up. But I'm going to show you here how you can set up full body plus facial tracking in Unity. And I'm assuming that you have all your Unity stuff set up already from another video at this point. You go to external receiver, which is something you make when you set all that up. So we go to external receiver, and then after that we have a port number right here. So this is our port number right here. This is a different port port number. So then you go back to virtual motion capture settings, and now we're going to do enable motion sender. So now we want to take all the information that is in virtual motion capture, which is our face tracking and our full body, and we're going to send it out to Unity. So you click enable the motion sender, you select this port number. It should be different. We don't want to use 39. I'm going to use 40. So I'm just changing this to 40 because we can't use the same one. And then you're going to click apply. Then we'll go to back into Unity, and we make sure that this port number matches up with the sender, because we are sending the information from virtual motion capture over to Unity. So now when we click play, and if you have everything else set up from VSeeFace's video, you should be able to have, obviously my leg is messed up right now because I lost tracking, but you should have everything in here set up. Yeah, so now we have everything set up. This is really heavy on a PC, so if your PC is struggling, I get it, because mine struggles and I have a pretty good PC. This is full body stuff. So now we have face tracking and full body. The biggest issue with this is if you don't have something to move your phone around with you, you're gonna have to hold your phone around, move it around with you while you're doing face tracking. And they do create like headpieces, but the one that's on the market right now, I believe, is like $2,000 USD, which like pretty much nobody can spend that money if you're like middle class even. I think it's a struggle. But like hopefully they'll make more stuff. You can also get, if you have a 3D printer, a really big 3D printer, you maybe be able to print something out. You can come up with some weird, remember, as I talked about earlier, you want to come up with crazy solutions. If you need to use like a construction hat and like tape a selfie stick to it, you could do that as well. Somebody else told me, his name is Woody, he's here on YouTube as well, he does all this stuff as well. He said he has like a boom arm mic, and he like tapes his phone to his boom arm mic so he can move his boom arm with like where his face goes. So that's another option. So you got to think about all these different things that you can do to make it work. That's the only struggle with that. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about that is that if you don't want to have your VR headset on your head, because I had this issue when I did art streams, was you need to find a solution to not use your VR headset on your head. So what I ended up doing was I tied this scarf around my forehead. You can tie like anything that can pad your forehead, and then you're gonna tighten your hip tracker. If you have full body, this will work. Or again, if you find other whack ways to like use your controllers. This might be a little too, yeah, that's probably too tight. Okay, so basically you tie your hip tracker around your head, and then you'll turn that on. I'm not using it right now because my trackers are dead. You'll put your hip tracker around your head, and then you can use this as your head tracker. The reason why it's such a great solution is because if you're doing something like a drawing stream, like I always have my drawing tablet on my lap, and then I'm looking down at my tablet. Like I said earlier, when you have a headset on your head, it gets really heavy and it hurts your neck, and it's not healthy for your neck. So you can do something that's a lot lighter, like a tracker like that. Another thing is, if you don't have hand trackers for whatever reason, you can also, this is something I did too a while back. I don't even remember why I did this. I tied my ankle trackers and used them as my hand trackers. So you can also do that as well. That was annoying to draw with though, but you can also use, and I don't know, I don't remember why I did that, but I did that at one point where I was using my ankle trackers as my hand trackers. So then you would just tie it around your wrist, which is kind of difficult because it's hard to get it like tightened to fit. I have small wrists, so, but you can use this as your wrist trackers. Like I said, this might come into use for you if you don't want to have that headset sitting on your head for the whole stream. You can buy more body trackers if you want to use those for multiple points. Like I said earlier, you can wrap it around your elbow. You can wrap it around your knees if you want to do that. So that's the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about that I felt like was important depending on the setup and the situation that you have. The next video you should probably watch if you have half body and you're thinking of getting full body is full body VR worth it? I go in and interview a ton of experienced players and people who have gotten full body VR and all the different things it can be used for and why it's so great. I'll see you next time on the Syafire Star. Bye!